Alright, so this is going to be some tips and tricks on the circuit tracks. Just things that I've noticed that either haven't seen in the manual or I haven't seen on any other videos really. Okay, so I'll start with trick one, and that is probably the best one actually. How to recenter the drums. So I've got no way of knowing where, if I mess around with this. Right, how do I pull that back to normal? I mean, my guess would be no distortion, long decay, and then the pitch, I'm not sure where center is. So one thing I found, that if you muck this up like that, and then you want to get them all back to center, if you hold clear and turn everything to the right, it goes blue. So just to check that, we'll muck it up again. Like that, and then we'll hold clear and we'll turn them to the right. We're back to normal, so that's a really good one. The next one is hold record down and let go when finished, and it will switch back off. So if we're in here and we hold record down while it's playing, we hold record down and we go, oops. So that's really cool, because you can hold record, do some one finger action, and know that as soon as you let go of record, it's stopped recording and hasn't overdubbed your pattern, which is quite useful. The next one is just really simple, just pressing play and record at the same time, so that way you know you can just start playing straight away. Another tip I've seen is to put the first note in, so that you don't have to worry about your initial timing. The next one, it has to do with the Novation Components. So if it loads up, I might have it open already. Yeah, I do. Okay, so if you can see Novation Components here, and let's say that I wanted to do a new pack. I've got, oops, forget that. Let's expand this. Or even better, let's make a new pack. Create pack. Now, if I wanted to get all of the patches from another pack into here, from what I've seen, you have to drag them manually. I found a better way to do that. So if I go to expand here and I go to patches, show patches. Now, yeah, normally you'd have to drag them in one by one, but I can't remember how I did it. But I was able to get all of them. There we go. Bang. So I just dragged from patches and it highlights them all, and I dragged it all the way into here, and now all the patches from another pack are in my new pack, which is quite useful. Alright, so back to the tracks. Okay, so the next one is, I've got a little crappy sequence here, as you've heard. If I hold a note while this is playing, it fills in the gaps. So now on this sequence sounding really rubbish, it doesn't really sound too useful, but that is quite useful if you set things up properly. The next one, if I go to a new project again, was, okay, so yeah, if you've got a kick and a snare, and they're sharing the same lane, oops, so they're sharing the same drum track. Sometimes you want reverb on your snare, but you wouldn't want it on the kick. So the way I've done that is to just automate it. And you can hear there's still some on the kick there, so you can go back into the kick, and if you press record and go to velocity, you can hear it. if I now, oops, actually no, you can't do that. That's something you can't do. You'd have to just do it manually. So you'd have to automate it. So I'd probably clear that. Alright, that one's a bit difficult, but the idea was to essentially put reverb on the snare and not the kick. Alright, okay, so the next one again is Novation Components. If I go back to here again, and I was to go synth and create patch. Yeah, okay. So if we're creating a patch, I found it really hard to get the filter envelope thing to actually be useful. So the way that I've discovered after practicing a million patches is to simply drag 4, I think it is, yeah, filter envelope straight to this envelope 2 frequency amount. Now if it's centered and this is to the right, you're literally going to go from it being at 0, like not minus 0, to there having an envelope on the filter, which will give it a stabby kind of sound. I very rarely use the other way of doing it. I very rarely use it in a negative fashion. I just use it in a positive fashion. So that's quite a useful thing to me. I tried mapping it to the envelopes down here, but it didn't really have the same effect. I find that just makes it feel natural, makes it feel like it should feel, as it's labeled. Okay, so the next one and the last one was just to play some tunes that I've done on it, really. Nothing special, just some songs that I've come up with, but they're alright. So let's go back to projects. Okay, yeah, that's it. This is my second groove box I've had. I'm really impressed with it. I come from Ableton Live and using a lot of synths. This works really well with all of them as well. And all of the tracks I just showed you there have other parts from like the Micro Freak and the NTS1, but they just simply haven't been turned on. It's got so much potential, this thing, with controlling everything and side chaining. I'm really impressed. Thanks for watching. I'll probably be releasing a couple of packs or two if you liked what you heard on here. So yeah, cheers for watching, subscribe, and hopefully I'll do more. Thank you. Bye.